And today I would like to share some of the new facts that will be helpful for you guys. So the topic is blockchain and how the industries can adapt to that technology to leverage their businesses. Okay, so I'll cover in this presentation, I'll cover what is blockchain and why does it matter, then how the data industry works, then data economy challenges, and why the blockchain technology is useful in data economy, and proposed solution by Quadrant to solve these data economy challenges. So this is what I'm going to cover. So what is blockchain? So any of you know what is blockchain, or anybody is working with blockchain? No? Yes? Okay. So okay, I'll just explain the technology in layman term, so it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So instead of me explaining the blockchain basics, I'll just give an honor to this 10-year-old girl. She's quite brilliant.
Daddy, what does fair trade mean?
Well, sweetheart, it means that everyone who helped make the chocolate, from the farmer who harvests the cocoa bean to the factory worker who wraps the bar, got treated well and paid a fair sum.
But how do you know they aren't just saying that?
Well, we do.
Of course, in the future, we'll never have to doubt the provenance of anything ever again.
Where'd you learn a big word like that, sweetie?
Well, current banking systems run on private, centralized ledgers, meaning value gets traded slowly, indirectly, and with a high propensity for fraud. Distributed ledger technology will change all that.
Distributed ledger technology? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about blockchain.
What on earth's blockchain? And what's going on?
Oh, Daddy, it's like that paper tune I made on a fridge, except instead of paper, it's made up of blocks of chronological transactions, timestamped and added to the chain. And instead of putting it on the fridge, it's distributed to the ledger of everyone in the network, so everyone can see it and no one can change it.
This is revolutionary. This could change the way money moves around the world. There'd be no exchange fees, there'd be barely any financial fraud, and access to finance would be democratized to an almost unprecedented degree. My child's a genius.
It's not my idea, Daddy. And whilst what you say is true, it's pretty much just to focus on money.
Okay, don't get ahead of yourself.
Right now, blockchain is revolutionizing all sorts of industries. Checking that chocolate is fair trade is just one issue of provenance, also faced by industries like the tuna industry, worldwide charities, or even intellectual property like music or scripts. Blockchain is also streamlining the process of self-executing contracts to lower admin costs in areas like insurance, the property market, and the energy industry. And don't even get me started on verification. Timestamp digital passports mean we can dispense with physical things. Elections will prove every vote is counted and verified. And that's all before blockchain really takes off.
But what happens then?
I know, I'm only 10, Daddy.
What?
Don't forget the chain.
So I have seen so many videos on blockchain when I was learning when I was going through the blockchain technology as a research purpose, but this is the most brilliant one that I have ever come across. So in a nutshell, what is blockchain technology? It is a distributed ledger technology that stores all the information in immutable way, and it's irreversible. So that means the data it stores, it stays immutable forever. Okay, so it has an immutable trust inside. So we can wherever we want to have trust, or wherever we want to have transparency or visibility in the digital assets tracking system, we can think of blockchain. Okay, the basic two applications we can think of when we talk about blockchain. So if you have heard of blockchain, like cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency is one of the simplest application that is built on the blockchain. And second is blockchain can be enforced to the businesses where commerce or like any trading system is there, which needs clear transparency on supply like digital assets. So we call it a business blockchain. Okay, so these are the two applications of blockchain. So blockchain is a very flexible technology that can be adapted in like it can be tweaked, and you can put more innovation based on your strong use cases in the business, because all the business, if you want to apply blockchain technology everywhere, it's not possible. You need to have strong use cases in order to enforce the blockchain technology. So it can be tweaked accordingly, and you can come up with more innovation. So why does it matter? So as I said, it's a distributed ledger technology, so its nature is decentralized. So because of its decentralized nature, the data it stores, it has implicit trust inside it. So this feature is a powerful way to get the transparency in any digital assets tracking system. So here, I would say like the data economy, why I'm bringing the data economy into the picture is because there are so many industries where blockchain can be applied. But since I'm working in, we are the like at Quadrant, we are huge data players, and we deal in like we are we deal with data industry. So I am covering the strong use case that we came across and that we built on like in data economy. So what is data economy? Like, have you like do like anyone is familiar with the data industry, how it works, or what are the problems? Anyone? Yes, no? Okay. Okay. So whether you stay in Singapore, San Francisco, everywhere data is important. There may be more chances of your life will be becoming better with the help of data. Say, for example, like you might have an access to the frequent buses. Thanks goes to the travel. Thanks goes to the data that is obtained from the travel patterns. Then you can have traffic management system, if it improves with time with the help of location data, then it may improve your frequent traveling routes, like less traffic in your like usual routes. So if you can leverage the location data, there are so many ease that can be provided in our day-to-day life. Then your neighborhood might be like more safer if crime data is more mature, and if companies take action to leverage that data for police to take proactive actions. Okay, so here we play the vital role because we serve the world to fix the biggest problems in the data economy by creating more and more data. Okay, so if this data economy is huge, it's moving at the fastest pace in this world, and like every day if you see 2.5 quintillion bytes of data is being generated each and every day. Especially location data industry is booming. So if you see the states, like it's not just a quantity of the data, it's equally important because the revenues for big data industries and big data analytics, like business analytics solutions, is forecasted to reach like $260 billion in 2022. So this is quite important for the world. And the third thing is, like, if you look at the stats, 93% of Singaporean organizations, they rely on data. They are data hungry organizations, and most of the critical automated decisions are being taken based on the data. So this is when the data economy players comes into the picture. So in data economy, there are more players who are dealing with the data, and they are exchanging the data. Okay? So this data economy is having some major issues. We personally felt these issues when we talked to the customers. We came to know about these burning issues, and those issues are like, for example, like Procter & Gamble. This is a big FMCG company, right? Now, if they want to know that, okay, this product, like what is the consumer base for this product in the entire world? So they will definitely not employ someone to count those states. Instead of that, what they will do, they will rely on the third party. So that third party can be in form of data aggregators who will collect data from other layer of middlemen, and that middleman layer can be any royalty card company, POS, like any individual retailers or any POS company. So here there are chain of middlemen who produces the data, who collects the data, aggregates it, and then it provides those data to the end consumer, like FMCG companies. Okay, so but the issue is, like, when there are middlemen, they are more focused on money. So what they do in this world, they tend to create fake data. Okay, now if you see at consumer perspective, if any FMCG company, or if say Procter & Gamble, if they want to take decision based on that data, then their business can be ruined. They cannot trust the data because the source is not defined. Because the data economy players, the middlemen, they tend to hide the sources, maybe for malicious reasons or non-malicious reasons. But what if, say, compliance perspective, if say government wants to know that, okay, they want to crack down the personal data usage, so they need to have a compliance, they need to have a provenance trail. But in this murky ecosystem, because of these middlemen, they don't want to expose the sources. Because of that, they form a murky data ecosystem, and that is when we aim to solve these problems, because we personally face these problems. So why blockchain is there in the data economy? So as I said earlier, blockchain is it has a decentralized nature, it has implicit trust. So we were thinking of the solution, or we were thinking of the mechanism where we can trace the entire supply chain of the data, like from the source to middleman, then another middleman layer, and then to the consumer. So we wanted to trace this complete chain, and that is when we thought that, okay, what is the mechanism we can build over to have a clear visibility on this supply chain. So that is when we come to know about, like, okay, we research on various technologies, and then we concluded, okay, blockchain is the perfect fit for us, where the data remains immutable once it is stamped. So that is why we chose blockchain technology. So it gives provenance, authenticity, trust, security, integrity because of its nature. So now blockchain-enabled data economy. What is blockchain-enabled data economy? It's our solution that we built. We just take a step forward to clear this murky data ecosystem. So if you look at the players, these all are the players in the data ecosystem. So first you start with the source. This source can be you or me, like who creates the data, like your mobile phone, my mobile phone, or maybe any IoT sensors, or any social media sites which creates the data. Okay? Then pioneers comes into the picture. These all are the cool terms that we, since we Our company is Quadrant, so we have given all these cool name, like all the players a cool name to analyze, to do the analogy with the system to explain how it works. So nurseries are the stars, like the data that is being produced. So this is the source, and then pioneers come into the picture. What they do, they collect the data collect the raw data from the source, from say mobile device or any IoT device, and then they form basic products out of that data. Okay, then we call it constellations, and then they sell it to Elons. Now Elons are the smartest people in this world. They can play around, they can map any kind of data products, and then they can come up with any, like they solve bigger data problems. So it's like, for example, if McDonald's or Coca-Cola or P&G, if they want to know that, okay, where is our consumer base, like if we want to increase our customer base, then which is the correct location, say for example, which is the correct location where we open one more outlet. So these kind of data consumers, yeah, they are the data consumers, like McDonald's, Coca-Cola or P&G, they are the data consumers. They take data-driven decisions, and these are the players. Elons are the players who are collecting the products from the pioneers and focus on the bigger picture of this world. They map the disparate data sources and come up with the bigger solutions. Okay. So this is the basic funda that we came up with. This is the simplest solution that is built over the blockchain. So if you see the data source, that is Pioneer, like our plugin works at two ends, like at Pioneer end and at the data consumer end. This is the end, like this is the customer base, like this is the customer like PA, Procter & Gamble or Coca-Cola, and this is like the parties who collects the raw data and make different products out of it. So our plugin resides at both the ends. This, like our plugin will collect the data from this end and it will stamp to our blockchain. We have created our own, like it's not our own, like it's not a protocol, it's a blockchain that it's our private blockchain that we created to stamp this data. And then consumer, when they purchase this data and the data comes to their storage, our plugin will execute and it will scan the data, it will scan the consumer's data and create the stamp out of it, create the hashes out of it, and then it will verify with the existing stamps that are there in the Quadrant blockchain. So this is how, if any manipulations are done at this end or in the middle, like in the middle layer, it will be traceable here. Okay, so this is the high-level architecture, I would say, that we built to come up with the solution. So this is our blockchain, where all the transactions, all the data stamps are being stored, and this is the Guardian node. Guardian node, what Guardian node does is it keeps the integrity of the information that is stored into the Quadrant chain, so nobody can manipulate it, and also it creates blocks into these chains. So they are the authorized parties who creates the blocks into this. Okay, then there is a data producer client that we built. What it does, it scans the data from the data source, it creates the stamps out of it, and then it stamps into the Quadrant blockchain. And this is the data consumer client. What it does, it resides at the consumer data, it resides at the storage at the consumer end. It scans the data that they have purchased and we delivered, and then the stamps will be verified with these existing blockchain stamps. So if that doesn't match, then they will be notified that, okay, something is manipulated in between, this stamp is not there. So this is how they will be knowing that, okay, something in between is manipulated or something is wrong. Okay. So here here if you see the anchor client is the one that is like on timely basis, like every 15 minutes, it takes snapshots out of this chain, and then it stores those those transactions, it stores those snapshots in this public blockchain. So here, for example, in the worst case, if our private chain is compromised, then this is the backup that we created, because in public blockchain, Ethereum, Neo, or any other public blockchain, we do not have control over it, right? So it's a double trust system. So this is how, like, we created a data ecosystem that has transparency from source to destination, and also it creates a trust between the players who are a part of this economy. So yeah, this is the solution that we try to came up with. It's a revolutionary one. So it's like, yeah, we are proud to create this solution. Yep. So any questions or comments or anything, you can ask any questions if you have. Any questions? Yep. Yep. So there was a trust issue before, like if say producer A, like vendor A, vendor B, and vendor C, they are a part of this ecosystem. Our plugin will reside into their places, like will reside into their storage where their data is stored, and from where it is delivered. Our plugins will take a snapshot, like we will take a hash out of it, will create a stamps, and will store into our blockchain. So we have one more mechanism there that is called a smart contract mechanism. So what we do, we map all these vendors with all these consumers, like who is buying data from what source. So if you see at the top, like if you scan the smart contracts that are there in the chain, you will be able to trace the entire supply chain, that okay, this data is flowing from where to where. You can have a complete transparency there. But yeah, condition provided is like you have to be a part of this Quadrant ecosystem. So we provide the way to the data players to be trusted players, and to it removes the murkiness of the data ecosystem this way. Yep.
I think this is very, very interesting to see. A couple of aspects I want to ask about is first, how are you dealing with kind of these instancing your data throughout the trade? And also about the thing when, so there is this fact that one, they can have fake data. The other one is when data by itself is not very clean. How do you differentiate between these when you're writing your smart contracts? Like they might be hashing on an unclean data and stuff. How do you take into account these two things?
So when it comes to cleaning the data things, so it's like this chain works like whatever you provide, like whatever you deliver to the client, that will be stamped. It's not, we don't have any concern on what they do in between. If they do some manipulations in between, and then our plugin just scans the data, that changed data, then consumer will be able to see that, okay, this is what the provider has provided, and this is the same thing we are getting. We don't deal with, like, for example, if say vendor A is our vendor, and consumer A is a consumer of this ecosystem. Now if vendor A is manipulating something, if it gets data from somewhere else, if it manipulates something, and then our plugin will store that hash as it is. So their changed data will be stamped. So if consumer A consumer A buys that data, our plugin will say that, okay, you bought the data from provider A. This was the stamp at the time of origin of that data, and this is the stamp that your purchase data has. If it matches, it's okay. There is nothing manipulated in between. If say consumer A is making some manipulations, if they sell it to consumer B, say provider A, consumer B, say consumer A does some computation over the data, they say for good purpose they do the cleaning of the data, for example, then that hash will also be there, like, okay, after buying it from A and before selling it to consumer B, what are the hashes? Everything will be traced there. So this is like whatever you put in is whatever you get out.
Understood. Okay. So, but what if the consumer is actually doing a fake data manipulation?
So if say someone else is purchasing the data from that consumer, and if they are faking and they are not a part of our ecosystem, then the end consumer who is buying the data from them, they cannot have a trust on that data, because it's just our ecosystem. We are providing a way, but still this murky ecosystem is still there, because everyone, like in the entire world, we are trying to attract all the vendors and buyers to be a part of this ecosystem, and there are so many partners we have who are a part of this existing ecosystem, but it depends, like, okay, we have some limitations to reach out to all, right? So we came up with our own way. We have our own product. What we did, we came up with the SDK concept. We are having our own mobile location data SDK. What we are doing, we are getting the data from mobile phone, and we are stamping it as it is. So now we have a credibility that, okay, we are the sole source of this. Nobody else is the player in this. We are the source of it, and entire supply chain, that will be like, we are the trusted partner, and we are the trusted vendor, and we can provide you the authenticity of the data. These are the stamps that were created at the time of getting the data from the SDK, and this is what you are getting. So this was one hack or one innovative solution that we came up with, because we cannot include entire world, right? We can try, but we cannot. It's a big thing, right? So yeah, we are taking a step forward, and yeah. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you.